my friends, Tushar here with you. During the month of June, which is MacThomas month, on our clans calendar of the year, 12 clans in Clan Hatton, 12 months in our year. There we go, one per month. Clan MacThomas for June. I'd like to bring you a selection from, well, this is from the Electric Scotland website. It was given to them by a gentleman named Robert Thomas, so I'd like to thank him. Robert Thomas provided this information probably from the MacThomas website. A lot of it's directly over, it seems, but he took the time to present this very nicely for the Electric Scotland site, which is provides information for people worldwide about all kind of clans. And nicely, they ask people of those clans to provide it rather than it being some sort of a generic term of reference. They ask clans to provide these. I helped them out actually with the Mackintosh one years ago. I wrote an article or something. I'm not sure what it was. Now it's been so long. My gosh, 15 years or better. Right, so this is some MacThomas history. I'll be bringing a few selections from this to you. This is not very long, but it's very interesting, I think. William, the 7th chief of Clan Mackintosh and the 8th chief of Clan Hatton, was the son and heir of Angus, the 6th of Mackintosh, by his wife Eva, the Heretrix of Clan Hatton. He succeeded his father in the chiefship of both clans in 1345, during the reign of King David, when he would have been about 50 years old. He married twice, having children by both wives, as well as 2 concubines. And we are told that it was after the death of his first wife that William, being then very old, had 2 bastard sons, Adam and Sorald, S-O-R-A-L-D, by the second of these concubines, whose name was not preserved. Adam, the elder of the 2, grew up to be a man of considerable size, which he took from his father's stature as well, lean body and of great strength. For this reason, Adam was known as Adam More. You've seen this many times, my friends, right? More is a indication of size. Adam More, known as Big Adam. He lived in Athol for a time, but later moved north again and settled at Garvamore in the Lagan district of Badenoch, just a few miles west of Loch Crunachen, on the south bank of the Spey River. His descendants, known as the Sleoch. Now, Sleoch is a family. A Sleoch is a family or a tribe, not quite a clan, a group of people sometimes within a clan. S-L-I-O-C-H. Sleoch. Adam More McWilliam, he was called, being of the tribe of Big Adam, son of William. This was what his family was known as. Sleoch Adam More McWilliam. And they are reckoned 5th of the 9 tribes of Mackintosh, meaning septs, I believe, right? They're using the word tribes here. Yes, but it would be a mistake to suppose that they were thought of from the outset as a separate tribe. The household of a single Highland gentleman could not, by any stretch of the imagination, be considered a clan. That's very important, my friends, in the normally accepted sense of that term. Therefore, Adam and his near descendants, who it seems must have continued to dwell at Garvamore for some generations, were obviously regarded by themselves and everyone else simply as members of the main body of Mackintosh. However, living as they did on the southern fringes of Clan Hatton country, it would be reasonable to suppose that they were not much troubled by the somewhat remote authority of the Mackintosh chief. That makes a lot of sense, right? Consequently, they would have acquired a certain amount of independence, which would have grown stronger as they gradually multiplied in numbers and gathered a following. About the latter half of the 15th century, they emerged as a distinct clan under Thomas, the grandson or great-grandson of Adam More, and from him they took the name of MacThomas. Like so many others of his race, he too was a big man and was so affectionately named Tommy More, meaning Big Tommy. So this is where MacThomas comes from. Tommy More is the namesake, my friends. grandson or son of Adam. We're not sure of that. The newfound autonomy of the Mackintoshes is perhaps best understood if it is seen as part of a general process of fragmentation, which appears to have been taking place in Mackintosh at that time. Clan Hatton had by 1485 grown from a reasonable compact handful of clans into an unwieldy confederation of no less than 14 separate tribes, each under its own chief. The larger the confederation grew, the less effective became the authority of the Mackintosh at its center to bring to heel his own fractious Mackintosh cadets. During the chiefship of Duncan, 11th of Mackintosh and 12th of Clan Hatton, which lasted from 1464 to 96, several of these tribes began to become openly rebellious due to his mild disposition. So this Chief Duncan, the 11th, did not have a tight rein on people at all, it seems. It was during this period that Rothamarcus was made over to Alistair Shaw, founder of Clan Shaw, whose following constituted the second tribe of Mackintosh, from which the Farquharsons, or the third tribe, were to hive off during the following century. Right, the Farquharsons broke off from Shaw, which broke off from Mackintosh. I don't mean broke off in a violent way. They formed their own family and moved away to another place. That's pretty much it. That's what families do. Tommy Moore was almost certainly another contemporary of Duncan, and although we have no definite information as to when the MacThomases left Badenoch for Glenshee, it would seem natural that this too should have occurred during this period of disintegration and fragmentation. Makes sense. The naming of the clan after Tommy Moore would certainly be consistent with it being he who led them across the mountains into the Perthshire Glen, still more remote from Mackintosh's authority, thus asserting their independence as a separate clan even further, albeit acknowledging the over-chiefship of the Mackintosh. So in my opinion, perhaps they're running their own affairs in a large part, but if there was a big event happening affecting them all, the Mackintosh would be, I'm sure, be referred to as the leader in that. It's most likely what it was. He probably didn't want to be bothered in little things of everyone's lives. He probably had no time for that. Only the large things would he be consulted for. The Touchnut's opinion. Quite possibly the latter's predecessor was his father, Ain or Ian John, but of this we cannot be sure. Roughly a generation later than we find our first positive indication of a chief dwelling in Glenshee, and from then on there is a reasonably unbroken and well-documented line right down to the present time. In those days, of course, the language of the clan was the Gaelic, and the clan patronymic in that tongue was normally one or other of the diminutives of MacThomas, son of Tommy, or less commonly MacTom. These are pronounced in English MacHami or Macham, so that we generally find the early chiefs variously referred to as Macome, Macomb, or Macombe, or some such similar phonetic rendering. Well, that's the MacThomas historical information, the forming of the clan and its name, and some information about the way it branched off from Mackintosh. Splintering off, they need to move away to form their own croplands and areas and such, become autonomous in that way. Like I say, though, they're still Mackintoshes and still feel that way, led by the Mackintosh chief. I would think in a large situation that comes up, involving the entire valleys in the area. So that's it for MacThomas month in June. You almost got me there. Please stay tuned for some more MacThomas content. And please subscribe to the Touchnot channel, my friends. Help me get to 1,000 supporters. Touch not.